Hi, BrenTech here, where tech is made simple. So after posting last month that Mozilla had said that Google, Microsoft and Apple have an unfair advantage over Firefox, it seems that once again the browser wars are continuing as we move into the rest of this year. Now I'll leave that previous video down below because it's all about platform tilt. And if you want to play catch up regarding the browser wars, especially between Mozilla and Microsoft, then go check that video out for more info. Now, the latest is that Mozilla has now commissioned two independent experts, as they say, to investigate what they're calling Microsoft's design practices across its core operating systems. Obviously, that would be Windows 10 and Windows 11, the Edge web browser, and that would also include the Microsoft Bing search engine. Now, in this report, and I'm quoting this, Mozilla says that when a user wants to download and install a new browser, Microsoft uses what they are calling, and I'm quoting, the harmful pre-selection, visual interference, trick wording, and disguised ads patterns to skew user choice. Now, as many of you will know, and as we've spoken about previously on the channel, if I try to download Google Chrome from Microsoft Bing search, Microsoft pops this banner up. There's no need to download a new web browser, and is trying to convince you, obviously, why you need to stick with Edge and not download Google Chrome in this case. And this is kind of what Mozilla is on about in this report. They carry on to say that when a user tries to set an alternative browser as default, they say that Microsoft uses obstruction to dissuade the switch and refuses to switch the corresponding default app for various local web-related file types. And they also mention that when a user continues to use an alternative browser, Microsoft uses several harmful patterns to push the user back towards Edge, including visual interference, trick wording, and pre-selection, as we can see in this case. So basically, Mozilla still very unhappy regarding what they are calling the so-called dominance of Microsoft with the Edge browser, especially in its own operating system, and the fact that Microsoft makes it very hard for you to install another browser on Windows 10 and Windows 11. Now, with this report, Mozilla has said that they conclude that Microsoft's harmful design practices mean users are unable to download, install, use, or set as default an alternative browser without what they are calling interference. And they mention that these design choices may lead to three things: consumer harms such as distortion of choice, social harms including erosion of trust in the technology sector, and the third one, market harms including damage to browser innovation and the skewing of competitive incentives. So Mozilla not mincing their words when it comes to this latest report in the browser wars between themselves and Microsoft. And they conclude this by saying that Microsoft cannot justify the use of these techniques, i.e. what we see here in this example, and should stop using them immediately. They also carry on to say that if they do not, Mozilla say they would welcome, where the law provides for it, regulatory intervention to protect against these harms. So basically, in a nutshell, what Mozilla is saying here regarding especially Microsoft in this case, is that Microsoft uses harmful designs and deceptive tactics to push its Edge browser to Windows users. And the next thing, basically, just to summarize this, is that Microsoft uses misleading URLs and ads to prevent users from using other browsers aside from Microsoft Edge as default on Windows. And then lastly, just to summarize the whole report, they also say that this places other browsers like Google Chrome and Firefox at a disadvantage. And they are basically, as mentioned, calling on regulators to look into the matter. So just keeping you posted, because we do follow the browser wars on this channel. I find them quite interesting sometimes. And in my personal opinion, I do find that most of these mainstream web browsers do kind of push their own web browsers in some extent, or to some extent or the other. But nonetheless, just keeping you posted, because I know a lot of you are interested in the ongoing browser wars, especially between Microsoft, Mozilla, Google, and Apple. And as I've mentioned in that previous video, which I said would be down below, basically Google, Microsoft, and Apple are known as gatekeepers in the EU. So this is all what Mozilla is on about regarding these browser wars since the start of this year. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.